Hi! I think this is it, finally. Sorry, yeah, just everything was... Oh, wait. That still looks weird. No, cancel, cancel, cancel. What the hell? That was not what was supposed to happen. And now apparently it thought that I hit quit. Cancel. Scatter, hide. That's great. The game just started and now it put me into the please you want to quit because I clicked on it. Run FFmpeg for Linux. You know, that's fine, but it's kind of a... Yeah, I mean, trust me, I know all sorts of details. Yeah, I think there's some issues with Windows here. Look at that, I got it running, and it's locked. And I can't get it out of this mode. There's... Oh! Oh, the menu disappeared! Okay. I'm just gonna accept that. Come back to the main menu. Oh, look! Now... No, there, now it's there. So apparently when you click on the quit by accident, it doesn't bring the menu back up. So I just had to guess what that was. Let's see if this works. I think there's some weird glitches here. It looks like thunder and lightning. That may not be correct. Let's just start new. Let's call this XS-1, right? XS-1. Yeah, we know what everybody wants to call it tonight, but we're not doing that. Okay, yes, it would be far too easy to mock the coffee. But, yeah. This is somebody's update. Wow, that looks pretty. Yeah, okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm very worried that I've got some sort of malware, and I'm usually pretty good on the malware front, so... Gonna have to figure that out. Which is, you know, yeah, that's the kind of thing that I do. The layers are fusing. Yeah, that's always the problem. So, yeah, we did have this thing that was called the XS-1, and I'm wondering if there's a way to build it in Kerbal Space Program. It's essentially, well... It's supposed to be an unmanned launch vehicle, so I gotta figure out how to build such a unmanned vehicle. Guess the obvious way to go is to have fuel tanks at the front. Oh, actually, I could do this. Ah, look at that. There you go. Kinda looks a little odd. Let's change the root part here to this. That's my root part. Now I can ditch that and come back with this. Yeah, so, yes, how is everybody's evening? I know that malware is at fault. Windows 10... Yes, okay, but Windows 10 may have its flaws, but the developers are not intentionally trying to screw up your system. Right, the developers of Windows, you know, they have this thing where they have to maintain this really old system. They have to maintain compatibility. You know, I mean, it's very easy to mock Windows, right? I'm just going to say, yes, it is. It lends itself to mocking, but they don't intentionally mess things up, right? I think I'm going to need a monopropellant tank, actually. I'll put that near the front. Actually, maybe I'll just forget about the monopropellant and attach it some other way. Because I'm not gonna... I don't really need that much. But what we do need is a single vector engine. So maybe this is too big, right? We need to have one of the vector engines and we'll see just what the thrust-to-weight ratio on this is. And the thrust-to-weight ratio is 1.21, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get a terrible sore head tonight, so I'm having a cup of tea. No. You know, anyway, like, yeah, I understand that Windows 10 going free means there's all these concerns that Windows may be spying on users and things like that. Obviously, I work at a competitor, so I have to be very careful about what allegations I make. I'm not going to suggest anything of the sort. But you know, let's be clear. You know, Windows is now available for free, essentially. Why is it only giving me one there? That makes no sense at all. Oh, come back, come back, come back. I think I'm just going to use regular liquid fuel and just use like linear jets on this, right? That's what I'm going to do. Linear verniers. So we'll do that. Actually, on the nose. Let's do it at the rear. Yeah, let's that. And then stick these up the top. And that should give me the attitude control I need when I'm in the air. But why am I unable to attach this thing properly? You know, like, there's not really a huge number of changes, and yet there is. Like, how does this mirror thing work? The mirroring seems to be not quite working the way it used to. Did you see that? That is... What the hell? What the hell? Okay, screw this. I'm just trying to figure out how to attach some wings here, and clearly it doesn't even want me to do that. Wing connector type B. Let's just attach them to the side, and then we'll drag them down there by their kicking and screaming. We'll drag them down there till they get there, kicking and screaming and kicking, and somewhere along there they will learn the lesson that they were how am I having such a hard time putting wings on this damn thing? Okay, that's a little better, except that it's not. You can switch terminals in Ubuntu using Windows key, and yeah, that's a great feature. I remember the days when all those virtual terminals on Linux seemed like, you know, amazing. You're like, oh my god! Suddenly this makes so much sense. Yeah, I don't want to be dissing on Windows. I don't know. Like, it's probably something I ended up downloading, and I will say that it does say Yahoo. Something's changed my search provider to Yahoo, so that is a sure sign that there is something somewhere that has come down. So it will be quarantined in the best way possible, but until then, until I figure it out, I don't know. You know, that's actually, let's get rid of those. Oh, man. Do I use all of the above, the only big T? I mean, obviously I do. Yeah, I use everything, trust me. I use Windows, iOS, and Linux. You know, I'm a software guy, right? I've learned to use everything. Just because I made many jokes about Windows in the 90s doesn't mean that I don't actually use it. Oh, and then we need the other type B. There. Okay, so that's my wings, and then in theory I should be able to grab this and now move it and then converge it underneath. That way I can get around the weird symmetry issue I was dealing with there. This should only be needed for landing, so actually what I need to do is look at the thrust, the offset and everything when... So aerodynamics lift is there, center of mass, hold on, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. That's pretty close. So let's just shift these wings forward a little here. And that'll be good because actually we need control surfaces back here to make this thing fly. And we'll also need vertical control surfaces. Well, the beer for the night is unfortunately tea. Complicated, but there's complicated reasons mostly related to me feeling a little under the weather. I had a headache earlier, and that's just, you know, sometimes it happens. But I wasn't going to let you guys down. Besides, it was probably a headache from thinking too much about flying spaceships, so, you know, we all know that that's just part of what things do. You know what? I'm not going to use that. I'm going to try these shorter ones. How about that? Ooh, me likey. I like the look of that. So those can be my ailerons. I think these wings need to be bigger. Now the next size up is the airplane tail fin. Oh, that might be the way to go. Oh yeah, I like the look of that. And these do have, so I can enable yaw on those. I can enable pitch on those, and I can enable roll on those. Okay, so that's mostly there. What we do need is we'll need some batteries somewhere, and that's the kind of the sneaky thing that we forgot to mention. So we'll put some batteries on the back here, just to make sure we have enough power for the whole thing. Who here has seen Alien Covenant? I hated it. Really? Well, that's your opinion. Okay, so let's load this up with fuel and oxidizer. Nice. Liquid fuel and oxidizer. And liquid fuel and oxidizer. And our thrust to mass ratio is 1.2 at launch. So I might actually have to cut this down because on top of this we're going to have like a payload thing on the back, right? I'm going to have a payload adapter up here with no symmetry. That's it, just the one. And we can make this like kind of small, something super lightweight. And so the design that they showed, right, was, this is a DARPA thing. The design they showed specifically said it was using a space shuttle main engine. But they also said that they wanted to do 10 flights in 10 days. And to that I say, does not compute. I mean, really, the space shuttle main engine was not known for its fast turnaround. I mean, it was an absolutely fantastic, high-performing engine, but yeah, no way was it able to launch that many times in that small number of days. Now, actually, what we should do... Oh, yeah, let's just put the pod in there. So I guess we're going to have a little aerodynamic fairing, aerodynamics. Or actually payload, isn't it? Yeah. 1.25 meters. And then we can stick something inside there. That'll be like the control system here. So we're going to have a dinky little stack decoupler in there. And then an engine. So how long does this thing... The thing fires for 3 minutes. This actually has enough delta V to get to space on its own. It's kind of... yeah. Let's just drop that down. The Space Shuttle's main engine needs more work after a flight than the F-14 Tomcat. Interesting fact, did you know that one of the pilots, the stunt pilots or whatever used for Top Gun became a shuttle pilot? Just so you know. So I need to put a spacecraft in here. Probadobadobadine. And then we'll need... what else? I don't know what else we'll need in here. Probably some solar power. Yeah, we'll stick some solar panels on the side. That's a good... always good for a laugh. And we'll need some communications. We'll put an antenna on there. Just, you know, so that we've got a rough idea of what this spacecraft can do, right? That's looking roughly the right shape. Okay, so we're going to need to anchor these things at the front using that. But before we do that, we're going to need to do this. There we go. 2 of those. And then we're going to need to anchor this up here at the front as well. Yeah, this thing should get high enough that it doesn't need the any guidance or anything, right? What am I doing today? I'm flying spaceships. What do you think? So now, turn things around. What we need to do is make this the root part, because this is going to be the thing that gets controlled. So, tool, reroute this. There we go. So that's my root spaceship. And this fires. So now we've got to set the firing order. This fires. And then this detaches. And then the fairing detaches, and then this detaches, and then before the fairing detaches, this engine fires. And now this thing has 8 kilometers per second of delta V. So this thing is just like, holy moly. Still, you know, it's good for showing the principle. Didn't the AIM-54 have terrible reliability? I don't actually know what had terrible reliability, because I'm really not an expert. I think I can get away with small landing gear. Let's try small landing gear. Why not? Might need to put the landing gear a little further back here. Yeah, I think I'm going to put bigger landing gear on. Let's try... Is that medium landing? Yeah, medium landing gear. That's the way to go. And then we need a different one here up there. Oh, crap. Windows, Windows, Windows. So yeah, I actually heard that they did an ABM test today out of Vandenberg. So that was, I think it was out of Vandenberg. I would presume it would be out of Vandenberg. Maybe I'm imagining. So steering is enabled. Steering for these should be disabled. And deploy shielded. Okay, and then the other thing is start retracted. Start retracted. Yeah, you know the landing gear in the space shuttle would not work if Vandy Wande, what? I've just realized I probably want to put some batteries on this as well. Just so that it can get into space. So, put 2 batteries. That's good. Okay. And then we'll call this XS-1. I think it's the XS-1 is the name, right? Who's going to fly it? It's totally uncrewed. It's going to fly vertically off the test stand like that, and hopefully it will successfully not fall apart, because of course... And we got that. And we'll grab that. There. And then all of these, of course, have to go at the same time. I don't know, that thrust to weight ratio of 1.2, that's pretty terrible. I think it was Orbital, you know, ATK, they were the ones that launched their test payload. Yeah, I think there's some problems with the graphics here for the effects. This is a... Who is it? It was somebody great did the thing. Okay. It is taking off vertically. Ever so slowly, but it is working. I should take a look at the vessel information. Well, that's fine if we're losing a little bit of thrust here. It's a good thing I actually cut the amount of fuel in this thing, otherwise it would never get off the ground. Okay, it's 50 meters per second. We're now generating acceleration of 1.2 32Gs. Do I get that gaming madness? No, I don't get gaming madness. If you get gaming madness, that is a bad thing. Oh yeah, I think these guys were actually going for polar orbit, so let's turn it around like that. Let's just hold it and see. Oh. I don't know how stable this whole thing will be. Oh my god, look at the moon there! I tell you, these graphics packs keep getting better and better and better. It's not lightning, it's graphics glitches, but it does look like lightning, doesn't it? What? Yeah, right now in Elite Dangerous, I'm several thousand light years from Earth still. I went out to the Formidine Rift to see the ship that was out there, and yeah, okay. What's my apoapse? Somebody great did the good thing. What? Yeah, I'm totally gonna pretend it's lightning because that's way cooler than any of the other boring explanations you guys might come up with. Okay, so we're getting up to... Our apoapse is what I'm looking for, right? When the apoapse reaches 70 kilometers, I've got to turn this thing around and head home, right? So here, I'm going to cut the thrust about now. F5. Right, and then this thing is going to space... Oh, crap. Well, the engine's supposed to go on that. Never mind, let's pitch this thing around. Because we gotta get back to base here. Oh, and I don't have any roll capability because I didn't put linear RCS motors in the correct places. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm sure I'll get roll control back before I crash into the surface. Yes, I should have checked my staging. I understand this. You guys have all the wisdom when it comes to staging checking, for I am but an amateur. I have made many mistakes in the staging, and I curse myself every time this happens. Okay, look, we're gonna come down pretty steep over this thing. We're just seeing the lightning down below. Let's turn off the reaction control thrusters right now because they're clearly not doing what they're supposed to. This is the test. This is a full integration test here. One of the things though is oh wow, have I haven't overshot yet, have I? Where is the space center? I think that's it there. I think I've actually overshot the space center. Let's actually see how our electric charge is doing. Yes! Turn off this... I've just suborbitalized, Pegasized a weather satellite, and now the booster's in an RTLS approach. I'm not sure approach is the right word. We gotta figure out where the space center actually is. Right? And I can't see it through these clouds. I should have probably put a flag down or something. Come on! Check your staging will be featured in bright yellow. It's bright red caps. That's what it is. Which is a stock thing. That's the space center there. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so now we're basically falling straight down through the atmosphere. Right? This is where it's going to get fun. Uh-oh. Get the nose down a little. Or maybe actually I want to keep the nose up here. Oh, it's so empty. It should actually glide pretty well if I can just get it stable. That's the danger. And I'm just wondering how far I can go beyond my... I'm wondering how far my angle of attack can deviate from 0. Whoa, look at the G-forces! Look at those G-forces! This is not a standard return. You know what? I think if I push the weight into the nose... Let's do this. Let's put more weight into the nose just to make sure that we're more stable. Okay. More stable upside down, I promise. I'm sure it is more stable upside down. The problem is... Okay, now we're in a dive down here. Let's pull out of the dive. So yeah, it would be more stable upside down. However, spacecraft typically have a flat bottom for re-entry reasons. It's not about stability. Ideally, spacecraft would love to be a more stable shape. But, unfortunately, the requirements of re-entry mean that they have to be able to, you know, kind of glide through the atmosphere without burning up. Have I ever flown a TARDIS? Yes! In one of my early tutorial videos where I explain about modding Kerbal Space Program, the mod that I used was the TARDIS. Okay, let's bring some fuel into the back here. Yeah, look, we're kind of going here. Yeah, this one shouldn't get fast enough that re-entry heat is a concern. What is going to be a concern here is getting to the runway with sufficient energy. I'm just holding this attitude. Right? And hoping that I end up in roughly the right place. I mean, obviously I've got excess fuel here I can use, so I'm probably actually going to get into the roughly the right place here. Did I remember to turn off the parking brake? I hear the doctor might have left that on for a while. Yes. They call it the handbrake in Britain, right? There have been 3 Scottish doctors in the TARDIS, if I remember rightly. Oh, look, get some stuff here. Okay, this is actually looking good. Now, what I probably need is air brakes now. Okay. I think I'm going to drop my gear early because I think I now have too much energy. The other Scottish doctor would be Sylvester McCoy. Who, of course, was last seen in The Hobbit as Radagast the Brown. Okay, ready for the flare. I'm gonna flare really hard. Because I need to get rid of that energy. Okay, well, we had a dubious... Whoa! I should probably hit the brakes. I wasn't so bad. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm sure every pilot looks at my approach and says, "Wow, that is terrible! Why would you do that?" And yes. Okay, so we need to make this a little better. Okay, so let's revert flight to space. What? Someone's saying they never got into the modern Doctor Who is great. Why would you think it was somehow not? Like, that's bizarre. Okay, so we got that. Yeah, what I needed was we need a couple of these Werner engines for attitude control. Right, where shall we put those? I'm sure these will be able to work, right? So they should at least give me some roll control here. I'm wondering whether I should move the... Okay, so we've got this. This only is supposed to provide yaw, which is far from ideal. This is my pitch. Maybe if I take these and slide them up just a little, it'll give me a bit more stability. But man, you don't have much in the way of options here, to be honest. Yeah, that's looking slightly nicer. Yeah, there we go. We'll do that. So just raising it a touch will also raise the rear landing gear a bit, but I think we're safe there. No, I've already checked my staging. My staging was in fact correct, but I made a mistake. Oh yeah, also, you know what? Let's leave this. Let's actually put a target thing down, right? Let's put something on the launch pad. Let's do that. Fill. No. Comsat. Launch. Can you mount the rear gear closer together? Why? Are you trying to do something that's realistic? Wow, what's this one? Is this a stock vehicle? I'm sure it is. But anyway, we're going back to the Space Center and we're going to launch this thing. Yeah, people are all discussing Doctor Who, which is fantastic. Oh man, did I not save that thing? Did I forget to save it? Open. Is that XS-1? XS. Let's load that version. Yeah, that's it. Save. Okay. I should make a relay up so I can take that ship out. Okay, let's try this again. And yeah, moving upwards extremely slowly. RCS, no, we've got RCS roll control now. You see these things on the wingtips? Let's try it. Yeah, okay. I think there is some concern over how controllable this whole thing is. See, that's me rolling, and the rolling doesn't seem to be working. Like, I don't know why it does that. Oh, man. You know what would be nice if there was a way... I never thought about this, but it'd be cool if there was a way to reduce, to tell the gimbal not to work for roll control, because that's probably what it is, right? That's what's going on here, right? Is the roll control is being commanded from here, which is off center. So when I'm rolling, it's sending a command to this, but I only want this thing to generate pitch and yaw control. Ha! There's a feature we need. There's a feature we need. Okay, so I'm gonna use this pitch control though to get myself upwards and onwards. Okay, now we're okay in this attitude. Advanced tweakables. Yes, there are toggles per axis for engines. There are. Okay, let me go, because have I disabled, not enabled advanced tweakables from here? Advanced tweakables enabled. Show auto strut, show to actuation. Actuation toggles! There, you roll. So now if I roll... Oh, that is so much nicer! Yes. So now I actually need to lift this thing upwards and get them in a climb. Question about Lagrange points. I know you can place something around Lagrange points. It won't go anywhere. How does gravity from the other planets affect it? The other planets, other than the two that you're connected to, will tend to make Lagrange points unstable. That's really what we're on about. Yeah, paradoxically, having the yaw like that does make it easier to do a barrel roll, as people jokingly request. Okay. Okay, and then switch back. There, now, RCS thrusters. We're going to rotate. Oh, wow. I said we're going to rotate! Okay, now we're... Let's just point at retrograde. There we go. So we're going to do the RTLS thing. 74 kilometers. We're basically flying backwards into the wind, and now we're flying back towards it. It's kind of cool. There's no barrel roll right now. Hell no. Gotta figure out where we're going here. And we're starting to fall. Okay, so that's us moving pretty fast. Whoa, Nelly. Whoa, Nelly. I'm just going to point the spacecraft along its control axis. And unfortunately, I think I've come completely the wrong way. Let's turn off... Actually, let's do this and let's turn off stability control. Oh, wait a second. We're in target orbit. Surface mode. Put your nose down. Put your nose down. Put your nose down. Crap. Once again, we get this weird stability issue here. Although, interestingly... Oh, you know what? I'm totally out of RCS fuel now. Yeah, so we're out of fuel completely, so I can't pump fuel around. So this is basically... If this doesn't recover, I'm crashing. Oh, yeah. I do not think that this is the intended re-entry attitude that DARPA are going for. I think somehow they will have a more stable approach in mind. Yeah, maybe if I extend these backwards, it'll move the center of mass forwards. Maybe I should just have like little fins here just to make sure it points in the right direction at the right time. Okay. Well, how do I get out of this? Let's try flipping it upside down. Yes! Excellent! Almost. No, wrong. Okay, crap. I had it for but a moment! And it messed me up. Not that there's anyone in this thing. There is something quite enjoyable about spin recovery in Kerbal Space Program, especially since you're pretty much aware that it's you know, it's a real challenge, and the dynamics vary from one aircraft to the next. Once I get into the thicker atmosphere, though, it does seem to work a lot better. Okay. Now, I wonder if I can get this anywhere near where I'm going. This is not using FAR. This is using just stock aerodynamics. Not much energy left, but on the other hand, it is basically a big flying fuel metal balloon, basically. So it might take us a long time, but I think we at least will be able to get to the flat ground near the runway, if not the runway. That's my goal. And I think I'll actually have the energy to get there, so I'm just going to hold that attitude. Actually, maybe not. You know what? I'm actually a little high here. Maybe if I just notch the nose down a bit. Okay, I think we can do this. I think we're totally going to do this. Are there any RTLS concepts that fly aircraft style with the main engines in front? Are you talking about like a propeller driven thing? There is a concept called Adeline where you have the main engine pod at the back, and then after the main engine finishes burning, the main fuel tank detaches, and this kind of turns into a little radio controlled airplane with little propeller driven engines. So yes. We get. Oh my god! It's a Roger Dean album cover! Anyone remember prog rock in the 70s? Can I land on that stuff? I wish I had the energy to get there. Oh my god, there's another piece of terrain coming up towards me. This is a new bug I don't think I've experienced. This is cool and very scary. Oh wow! This just so reminds me of like 1970s prog rock album art. There is a screenshot. I should probably get rid of these things. Okay, I'm just gonna get over the edge of this thing, and then there's another piece. Oh, and the terrain is... So wait, can I land on this terrain or not? I have never seen this bug before. Somebody said, oh, it's the old detached terrain bug. I've never seen this bug before. If I try landing on it, will my gear work? Should I just... Oh, there! Okay, there we go. Suddenly we're not detached again. Look at this! I'm totally gonna make it! Even after that, like, bad return, that flat spin, I'm gonna get here, and I'm barely gonna make the runway, and I wish I hadn't put that gear down. Uh-oh. Because you know what's happening now? Is... I'm now going really slow, but I'm totally getting this on... Oh. Uh-oh. Little bit of porpoise in here. Still, look, we made it down! Whew! I've got to say, yeah, this is my first... this is the first install in 1.3, and yeah, there's definitely some weird glitches there. So, I don't know about that detached terrain bug, but that was pretty cool. I'm just disappointed that I still haven't managed to fly my rocket to space properly yet. Because I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Okay, so we definitely need to improve stability, which I think means more fins further back. Yeah, I've never seen the detached terrain bug before like that. Okay, so I'm just going to recover this vessel. Yeah, 1.3 was released, surprisingly, last Thursday. It was originally called 1.29. Oh, yes. I really kind of want to land on some of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure at some point this is going to crash horribly, but until then, I shall endeavor to keep going. Okay, so we definitely... I'm going to grab these little wing sections and move them backwards. And I think... Yeah, if I put extra... Can I attach control surfaces to my control surfaces? Oh, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is put like little fins here or something. Yeah, I'll put little canards right there. Maybe not. I'm just trying to think of the best way to like add something to get it pointing the right way. I mean, I think I have to do that. I have to grab this and just move the whole thing backwards a bit. Because we do seem to have pretty good pitch authority. So sliding that backwards will just improve my stability. And then I think that, yeah, we do have this issue where we have these outer wings kind of generating drag in the wrong way. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna put control surfaces on, we're gonna do full-on exhibit control surfaces on the control surfaces. And then we're just gonna leave pitch there. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna fire this engine before I ditch the fairing now. Oh, engine roll! Engine roll! I need to fix the engine roll. Darn, sorry, I hit the microphone there. Microphone, sorry. Sorry, microphone. Let's just do this. Advanced tweakables. Show actuation toggles. We do not need roll here. We will reduce the gimbal thing as well. Okay, there we go. Throttle 100%. Go! And off we go. You think Kerbin's plates need vertical stabilization? I think that may be a well-observed piece of science. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go eastwards and we'll fire this spacecraft towards the moon because that makes so much sense. Makes more sense. Let's see. Gonna do that. Come on, get over there. Get over there. Try to get this thing back on course. Okay. Oh, once again, detached terrain. I really want to know the nature of that bug. I totally want to know the mathematics behind why that is happening. Because that is kind of interesting. Okay, here we go once again. Thrusting. I'm just going to do the ballistic arc this time. It's the clouds. You think it's the clouds? It could well be the clouds. Kerbin is not a planet, it is a Dyson swarm. Yes, it is a swarm of plates that are basically floating over Kerbin's ocean in order to absorb maximum ocean from it. Actually, no. We are, as someone's pointing out, we're visiting Square Lakes National Park. It could be many, many things. Let's just make that clear. I like the way this is going. The only thing is, I'm going to pause stability control right here because we need our vertical speed to continue rising. We're heading towards the moon. We're up now around 20 kilometers. And actually, I think at this point, this is a good time to detach. Oh, F5. Oh, stability control. Okay, crap. Get back on course, damn you! There, I'm just going to leave this thing more or less flying this direction. There's the moon there. That's where we want to go, right? Crasher, why would you feel like I'm ignoring you? Why ever would that matter? Okay. There, that's this. Now what's interesting is the apoapse isn't actually rising that quickly. We're in a very horizontal trajectory, although we are getting 1G. Are you asking questions? Are you asking questions, Crasher 925? Because I'm not seeing those questions. Ask better questions. I love to answer questions because actually trying to figure out what to say is always such a hard thing to do. Let's set as target. We're headed towards the moon, right? So we should be able to get there at some point. I can't respond to everybody. It's nothing personal, but you should ask an awesome question. This is a solid, predictable booster vehicle. That is, I guess so, yeah. Who forgot to strut Kerbin? That's not a question, that's a joke. Yeah, okay. How does the ship rotate without RCS? Which one? This one? This one doesn't have any RCS, so yeah, it should have. Now I think about it. Yeah, it doesn't have any roll control. Because this doesn't have any reaction wheels, so I'm basically going to fly this to the moon, and that's it. Oh, fidget spinners! What do I think about those? I think that according to my detailed mathematical analysis, your average fidget spinner should break at about 20,000 RPM. Will I be going to... Why would I go to Illinois for a solar eclipse when I could go to Oregon? Have I bugged me to build a fidget spinner in Kerbal Space Program? I'm not even sure how I would do that. You want a fidget box. Is it possible to travel through a wormhole? That depends upon what kind of wormhole. A simple Einstein-Rosen bridge. It turns out that it's so unstable that you can't actually enter it and leave it unless you travel faster than the speed of light. Which basically means no, you can't travel through that kind of wormhole. However, there are stable kinds of wormhole which may be traversable. So traversable wormholes, that's the thing. Can those silly spinners be abused to create a simple control moment gyro? Why, of course they can. However, you would be better off... okay, wait a second. Let's see how close I get. Where's my closest approach here? Oh, here. Darn, that's what I was looking for. Are we going to hit the moon? And bingo. Yes, we're going to hit the moon. That is a good sign. Okay. And then, of course, the rest of the spacecraft dies. But we can, you know... I can extend the solar panels. Yeah, I foolishly put something on this that has no capability to rotate itself. So the best I could hope for is that the thing naturally spins in such a way... Wow, look at that. It does totally look like lightning, but I think that's a glitch. Why can't we just push the Earth away from rockets? Because if you mount a rocket on the Earth, the rocket exhaust moves too slowly to escape the Earth's gravity field. The Earth's gravity field has an escape velocity of about 11.2 kilometers per second, and the rocket velocity you get from things like the Space Shuttle main engine is about 5 kilometers per second. So you can't actually move the Earth using chemical rockets. You can, of course, pollute the atmosphere and choke everyone to death. So yeah. Do you think traveling and settling on other planets in our solar system is viable and necessary? You know what? Sending people to the South Pole isn't necessarily viable or necessary, but people do it, and yeah, people will do these things because it's cool. I know I would love to go to one of these places. The simpler answer was we would all die. You know what I should do is maybe create like add a maneuver, a slowing maneuver there. Okay. So if we can get this thing pointed roughly in the right way, maybe we can actually still land it, despite having no velocity, no angular, rotational control. This is a nice atmosphere. Totally digging the idea. I think the thing is a little bugged, and we will fix it. But yeah, whatever. Hey, EJ. EJ, I still have your business card next to my bed. It's really funny. I keep looking through my business cards and EJ is there, and I'm like, okay, I should probably arrange to do something at some point. Incidentally, Anybody that's in the SF Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, I know a couple of you mentioned Santa Cruz and Walnut Creek. Chabot Space Science Center this Friday night. I'm going to be one of the speakers at their Friday night events. We're going to do a special games night. We're going to encourage people to bring laptops and do stuff on Kerbal Space Program, and maybe we'll do some other stuff. It's going to be a cool night. $5 and you can get beer there. It's a awesome thing to do with, you know, kids and family and all that. Okay, yeah, let's just do time acceleration, proper time acceleration. I didn't fire my engine. That's really interesting that by changing my time acceleration, something happened there. Well, I guess we'll do warp to there. Okay, so I wonder how fast I'm going. First thing I want to do is suicide burn is delta V suicide burn distance 271 kilometers. Okay. And we're moving at about 600 meters per second. What's the difference between an asteroid and a comet? It is down to the volatile content. The real difference is that comets were planetesimals that were kicked out into deep space in the early part of the solar system. So they have been maintained in deep freeze and therefore have a lot of volatiles inside them. Asteroids, on the other hand, have spent most of their life in the solar system, and if they have volatiles, they are deeper under the surface where they are less exposed to temperature cycles, and therefore they don't outgas. However, it's well known that now that asteroids can be impacted and can actually generate dust tails like other comets. So yeah, comets and asteroids, they have a lot in common, but largely it's down to the amount of volatiles that you're going to get outgassing. Okay, so now I'm just going to run time forwards a little and get down to like 30 kilometers. Maybe I'm going to F5 this. Is it possible for a planet to pass through a wormhole unharmed? That would depend upon the geometry of the wormhole. And when I say geometry, I mean four-dimensional, non-Euclidean, weird Einstein metric stuff that will just blow your mind. So yeah, there is nothing... It is possible to come up with, you know, wormholes that are stable, but you need weird, exotic energies and, you know, negative energy pressures to support it. If an asteroid managed to get hit with enough comets, does it eventually become a comet? Yes, that is exactly right. Needs a flux capacitor. Maybe. Okay, now we get weird flickery stuff there. I'm hoping that this is because... This is not something because of a failure in my computer. Okay, we're about 70 seconds away, so what I'm going to do is this, and just fire my engines ever so slowly. Beautiful, you see that? The moon is breathing, yes. Lots of breathing going on the moon these days. You know the moon actually has an atmosphere which is mostly spent rocket fuel, right? Most of the moon's atmosphere comes from rockets, you know, rocket fuel that was left behind. And it's slowly losing it. There's a theory that 4D objects would appear as a shifting bubble. Sure, that depends how you define 4D and bubble. Okay, I'm gonna throttle this up a little, so watch. Oh my god! We've got giant holes appearing in the moon! This is not the moon that I know. The moon that I know is made of Swiss cheese. Oh, wow. Oh my god! Wait, what? That is totally unexpected. It's yes, the dark of the moon. Yes, this is a Minecraft moon. That's what it is. That's the problem here. Yeah, I have no idea what's going. I can see under the moon here. I can actually see the underside. Maybe there's a layer up there that I'm not seeing. I wonder how many anomalies there are in space. It all depends how you define an anomaly. An anomaly is something that's like, you know, a sci-fi trope. It's like, whoa, we're not sure what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna throttle it a little higher. Because what we want to do is, we want to keep control of this suicide burn distance. We want to make sure that we get down. Look, I can see the cracks! I think whoever bought this moon from IKEA didn't assemble it properly. That's really what's going on here. How many space nerds are in here today? I haven't even been paying attention. Suicide burn 5,000 meters. There we go. Something that cannot be explained by the laws of physics. That all depends upon, you know, where you're defining the laws of physics. Oh, look! Oh, like, there we go! We're having an anomaly here. Okay, what is my altitude here? Surface. Altitude, 2,000 meters. So wait, if I hit any of these things, does it count as a landing? Is the terrain actually real? Or is it just a graphical glitch? Guess I'm gonna find out. Okay, we're fine so far. Okay, suicide burn is 1,200 meters. Oh. I'm gonna keep this engine firing to keep stable. My god, it's full of stars. I like how... oh! I was about to say, I like how these things are actually... oh, crap. My, thing turned off. I just don't know where the landing site is. How was my altitude? 900 meters. Okay. Q is indeed messing with our perception. He's testing us. It's the Minecraft version of hallucinations. That is unreal. What I find interesting is that some of these are clearly casting shadows. Like, it looks like there's a shadow being cast by this. So it's not completely... so I don't know, I guess this thing is still casting shadows on the terrain. Even though you can also see through and see that there's a huge hole under there. I'm just like letting this go down. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I threw this on the moon. But I should probably have put landing legs and stuff on it. How about repair the game? Listen, I'm gonna have to repair my Windows install after this. Oh, look. Looks like we're back inside a crater. We're probably gonna fall over as soon as we land. Because this slope will be rather steep. Okay, where's the moon there? 3, 2... just gently touch the surface. You see that we're actually oscillating a bit. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. And then fall gently onto the surface. Hey! Look, we even had one of the solar panels survive. That's a good sign, right? We can actually do some science here. Here, and the rest of the spacecraft continues downhill. It's definitely some weird-ass stuff with Scatterer. Okay. Yeah, so sorry about the really broken stream today. I'm sure yeah. We did science. We did science. I was really quite impressed by the landing. Sorry, my probe, not my probe, my space plane. The fact that it flew so well. Yeah, actually, let's reload the quick save, right? Oh, darn, I quick saved there, didn't I? Well, never mind. Space Center. Press F to pay respects. Okay. Do you feel scienced? I feel scienced. I feel many, many things. Wait, why is Comsat LX now there? Let's try flying it to see what happens. Let's... Oh, this still works. Let's see where this thing goes. Does this actually travel the way it's supposed to? We still have all the lightning, which... Oh, man. I'm pretty sure that's a bug. But it is a very pretty looking bug. Have I looked at the Rutherford engine for Rocket Lab's Electron? Yeah, I mean, remember the video that I made talking about plumbing on rocket engines? I specifically mentioned its, you know, electric power turbo pump. So I have been well aware of this. It was interesting that I was at Chabot, like looking at the stuff, and they have this model Saturn V, which is 1/10 scale, and I realized, you know what? This looks pretty big, but it's still just, it's almost the same size as the Rutherford, you know, the Electron rocket. There we go. I guess we'll warp up to here. Warp here. Is the sun gonna rise, or yes, it is going to rise as we get higher and higher and higher, baby. This rocket is perfectly acceptable. Warp here. Oh, now we, of course, we lose the moon one more time. You saw Saturn V in Houston. That's hardly surprising. If you saw a Saturn V in Paris, I would be very concerned. You can't see anything here, but it is there. Should probably deploy. Oh, the panels are there. I can't wait for the first SLS. I hear it will be louder than the Saturn V. I don't know. I mean, solid rocket boosters tend to be louder anyway because their burning is not nearly as smooth. So I think the space shuttle might actually have been louder than the Saturn V, but now I think about it, I don't actually know. Well, that was a really easy thing to get into space. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful spacecraft, spacing this. Okay, so Crasher is asking whether I'm in contact with the devs and when are they going to ask proper weather. No, they're not. I'm not in contact with the devs at all. The ones I was in contact with, I'm in contact with their PR people. I don't think the only dev I know is Rover Dude, and you know he's more like a contractor doing fun things, doing models. So I don't know what's going to happen in terms of other features, but you know what? This is looking like a flickery old TV display. I kind of like it, but I'm going to have to say goodnight. Fare thee well, fly safe. May the road rise to meet you, may the wind be at your back, and may you try to get to my thing at Chabot this Friday night, because it'll be cool. And we can have beers, or you can buy me beers. That would be cool. You could buy me beers, or... I don't know. Listen. Space! Fly safe.